Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm your host, Bob DeMarco. Coming up, I got a Wingard wearable. Spyderco releases nothing new, but in new materials. And we have a very special guest, actually two very special guests. And we are seeking your advice for how to care for a Damascus steel knife and how to clean and care for and maintain a Japanese chef's knife. But first, it's my weekly opportunity my tri-weekly opportunity to show off what I'm carrying. So yes, that's right. It is a pocket check. Hey, Ethan, how's it going? Great to have you here, sir. First one here. That's right. That means you get the special prize. Kiefer, you're second. You get a slightly less cool prize. And Dave, how you doing? You already have the prize in your hand. I can't wait to see that video tomorrow. Hey, Mark, good evening. Great to have you here, as always. Hane Pie. I don't think I've met you. Oh, aloha. How's it going? I think maybe you have shown up before. Chicago 23. Great to have you. Yo, actually, but that's Philly. Ben, how's it going, man? Hope that shoulder's feeling all right. Michael, great to have you. Great to have you as always. Finally got back to some of your comments. I guess I could say that across the board. Been slacking on the comments lately, but catching up. I'm not going to catch all the way up, but I resolve to, on a daily basis, check in with my with comments because I get a lot out of it, and it's just fun to know that you're not just shooting stuff off into the ether. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Great to have Blade Ogre here. And Terry T-Rex, what's up, man? It's great to have you. Rusty, good old Rusty. Great to have you, sir. All right, let me tell you what I got today, and it's no big surprise because it's been hard to kick this out of my pocket. Hey, James, great to have you, Mr. Moore, a.k.a. Merkin Muffley, President Merkin Muffley. I got this here, Demko 8020, in my pocket today, and I've been noticing a little bit of something right here. I think that might be from the dark. Hey, Blade Hobby, good to have you here. I think this might be from my dark denim. We have Ryan Gilman. Good evening, sir. What do you think of this, huh? Pretty sweet. Nav Sergeant. Can't believe you got that James brand. How cool is that knife? And let me know if you want to sell it, though I still can't afford it probably on the secondary. Incognito, great to have you here, sir. Hey, Sean, how's it going? So yeah, was carrying this today. This is the Demko 8020. You all know what this is, but I'm acting like it's brand new because it's brand new to me. And I'm just so happy with this. And does anyone else absolutely love the sound of this thing? It almost has a sound of, I don't know. It sounds like something. Yeah, I do too, sir. I do too. And I'm loving this red, dark red G10. Hey, Martin, great to have you here. I'm not always a red G10 kind of guy, but this one is bordering on burgundy. And since I've given up drinking wine for a while. Hey, Crazy Knife Freak, or Peter B, great to have you. Since I've given up wine for a while, this will have to do. But it's funny how giving up wine for a while actually allows you to buy more knives. Dan, great to have you here, sir. You say good day, I say good evening. Potato, potato. Yes, that's exactly what it sounds like. I was going to say it, but then I wanted to see if anyone else thought that. Really nice sound. Okay, so I'm going to put that down. What else did I carry? Actually, I had a couple of things. I also was carrying Pinky Tuscadero, as we've named it. Can't wait for the 20.5 either. I actually want to get that Warncliffe version of that, and that looks like a great knife. I love the stonewash blades. Feel like I can use them without worrying about scratches. That's the exact point. I agree with you. Like. Not only that, but they're not such fingerprint magnets. And if you're OCD about fingerprints on your nice polished blades, on your satin blades, there's nothing like a stonewash finish to take care of that. So I was carrying Pinky today. This was the first knife my older daughter ever got for me. You've seen her on the show once or twice, not on this show, but on the midweek supplemental. Justin, how's it going, sir? It was so sad putting your knives in the mail today. Bittersweet, I should say. It's always good to return a knife to its rightful owner, but that was a box of 8 or 7. I hope I sent you the appropriate amount. No, I know I did. But But God, man, I loved all of those knives, but especially the Ron Steele senior knives and the Jake B Creates. Man, so cool. Hey, Caleb, great to have you here. Caleb Townsend, another man of great taste. Joe, how's it going? What's cracking with you, sir? What is cracking with you? I saw you got the Tough Knives designed knife. I forgot what that's called. This is what happens. Hey, Monster, always a pleasure to have you with us. This happens every time I log on and I start forgetting the names of knives. So anyway, Rat 2 in my back left pocket. Such a great little knife. This is the one that split the bagel today because the 80-20, you know, so a little much in the width department for slicing bread. So after careful consideration, I pulled out the Rat 2. And then thirdly, and actually I did a little wardrobe change halfway through the day and changed into something else. But I had the Steingraber Performance Knives Shark on me. This is such an awesome knife. This one, of course, is in crew wear. Of course, it's in crew wear. Nothing less. Such a great knife. Beautiful grind, fully flat ground, and just so slicey. This man can make a knife. Really, he's got a new one coming out, a new drop. Slimfoot. Thank you. He's got Alex has a new drop coming out, and they've got purple handles and like a teal colored sheath. I love that. Ben says, "Hey, Bob and Jim, so glad to be here." Hey, we're glad to have you here, sir. Always, you know. Let's see. There you go, Jack Wolf Knives, right on the cup of fame. So yeah, proud to have that. Thank you. Hey, how's it going, Stephen? We have Patty's potato peelers here. Good morning. That's because he's over across the shock, and it is late or early. So it's awesome to have you here. Your collection has just exploded. I mean, it's always been cool, but I feel like every time I see your feed, it's something new and super awesome. Hero Sticks, great to have you. Everybody, how you doing? It's really good to have you here. I've been seeing you the past couple of weeks, and it's been a pleasure. Hey, Jake, how's it going? Finally here on a Thursday night. That's awesome. I feel like Jake, some of the knives you've been getting, they've just been, well, some of them, like the fourth knife I was carrying today. I wasn't carrying these all at once. I switched to the ProTech SBR fixed blade. Love this little knife. And it comes with this incredible Chattanooga Leatherworks sheath, if you so opt. I did not carry it in this. I actually carried it in a slip joint little cover in my front pocket. I find that that's the easiest way to carry this because I don't know. I'm not up for wearing this on the belt. If I'm going to commit to wearing a fixed blade on my belt, it's going to be something a little bigger, a little gnarlier. But I know that you, sir, Jake, are into Jake B Creates, and Justin over at Tier 1 just exposed me to him, and I love his knives. So I'm gonna get myself on his list, in his books, if you will. SBR fixed blade is fantastic. I think you did a post of that the other day. Maybe that inspired me to carry that. Hey guys, we have Ezekiel and Jonathan. Yes, Thursday Night Knives. Been looking forward to this all week. I love hearing that, man. Men, I should say. Man, young man, great to have you here. Black Multicam, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, sir. Nick EDC here. Hey everybody, what's up, Bob? Not much, man. Just here hanging out, talking knives. As I mentioned, Nick Martino, how's it going, sir? Nick has a great new knife. I have it. A little bird told me. James Culp. James, great to have you. I just saw a very nice comment from you a couple of yesterday, and I finally responded to it. Sorry it took me so long, sir, but it's great to have you here, and thank you for the kind words. Much, much, much appreciated. Puts wind in my sails when, I know people like the stuff we do here, and I know it puts wind in Jim's sails. Speaking of Jim, we just might be seeing Jim in short order here. We have a very special guest tonight. We have Tyler Person. That's Jim's son. He's going to be joining us shortly, and we have an interesting reason. He's not only a cool kid. I shouldn't call him a kid. He's a man at this point, but he's not. I met him when he was a kid. He's not only a cool guy, but he has an interesting query for us all. Hey, JN, great to have you here. Great to be here at Thunks. I like that. That sounds good. Carrying the GEC number 73 today and my little squirt. What's the little squirt? Let me know. Love the GEC 73. So if any of you have advice, Tyler is going to be, he's a student at Landmark College up in Vermont, and he's got a couple of essays that he can write for some scholarship money. And they could not be more up the alley of Thursday Night Knives. That's why we're bringing it up here. No pocket check today, Sean. Wait, why? Can you go back on that, Jim? Oh, laying in bed right now. Well, I'm sure there's one. This could be a bedside stand check for you, because I know there's one there, I'm sure. Max the Maker said, I carried my Fox Knives baby core today while going on a 25-mile bike ride. Good for you, man. And it's still in my pocket now. Good. Hopefully you cleaned it off, because we don't want it to rust from the sweat that presumably built up on those 25 miles. Blade Hobby says, I have my ZT 393, Spyderco Manix 2, and Bradford Guardian 3. A 3-knife carrier, man after my own heart. And one of those is a fixie, and I love it. Was carrying the Navy Bug Out, donated by Zach Stuff and others. How cool. This is such a generous community. Tyler, listen to this. Wouldn't you love to have this essay question assigned to you? How do you care for a Damascus steel knife? And then also, as a bonus, how do you care for, clean, and maintain a Japanese chef's knife? Why was this? I went to school for a long time. Why were these questions never asked of me? I don't know. But they were asked of Tyler, and this could help smooth the way to more education. So let's help get him some advice on how to care for a Damascus steel knife and how to clean, carry, and maintain a Japanese chef's knife. The guys at Shredder say we have a Kubi carve and a Topps Silent Hero today. I love the Silent Hero. I don't have it, but I love that Silent Hero. Oh, okay. I was thinking of the Desert Warrior, but the Silent Hero I also love. That was designed, I think, by an anti-elephant poacher in South Africa, which is just a cool little bit of story there. Quack fam, how's it going, sir? Yeah, I'm only 10 minutes late this time. That's great. And then, on replay, you can always check out the first 10 minutes because they were very brilliant. I think you'll agree. So Vivi Damascus, that's great. And a Rough Rider Black Widow toothpick. Nice. Love me a toothpick. Damascus. I haven't heard it called that. I like it. Oh, Leatherman squirt. Right. Of course. Leatherman squirt. Topps Knives was brought up. Before we start the show, I always array knives around me. Excuse me. And Mazarin plow and a Rough Rider work knife. Nice. I love the Rough Rider work knife. This right here, this Felony Stop by Topps. I love this knife, and I love the name. I can't tell if it's like a felony traffic stop or like a felony or you're going to stop a felony with this knife. But regardless, I love it. Can you go back to Nick's comment, Jim? I just wanted to see what he had to say. Mr. Martino. I was home today, so I was playing around with it a bunch. Okay, so Nick has, I sold Nick the M4 Yojimbo exclusive from Blade HQ, and he's a collector of Yojimbos, and that was one of those elusive ones. That was the one that got away, and I was able to sell it to him, man. He wanted that. I wanted money, and it was a great deal. Thank you, sir. So much appreciated. Incognito says he had the AUS 10 Vaquero in OD green and a Benchmade bug out. You mean a Vaquero like this? Actually, this is AUS 8. I know. But coincidentally, one of those knives I had pulled out and arrayed around me. Squirt is a small Leatherman. Very cool. I think I have the Squirt with the pliers, because I think you can get the Squirt with the scissors. I have that at my desk at work, and it's sitting in a little cup with a bunch of paper clips and change, and no one has ever stolen it. So I work in a good place. Not carrying the big Dragotech, it's your baby. Been pocketing the Tor Jank Shank. Love that knife, and I love the Tor catalog. First of all, it's an actual catalog, and it's really cool. And they have some folders coming out soon, and they all look very cool. They have one. They have one fixed blade that I'm trying to get my hands on, and hopefully they'll send it to me. And I can't remember what it's called, but it's really nice. You know, what can I say? Very appealing. Oh, the J Cape in 3.5 inch today. Pretty dreamy. Yeah, I know Joe loves his, man. The Knife Whisperer is a huge fan of that knife. Boker Plus Urban Trapper in Cocobolo. Who doesn't love Cocobolo wood? Civivi Dogma in copper. Don't have the Dogma out, but Joe, speaking of Joe, gave me my Dogma, and every time I show it off, Jim says that's a nice knife. And so maybe that's in Jim's future, you know, keeping it in the family. I'm not one to give away gift knives, but or sell gift knives, but you know, putting it in Jim's hands, a Carolina boy, is not like it's keeping it in the family. So Quack says, been carrying the Sharp by Design Evo Typhoon with micarta inlays a lot lately. Well, we have an aristocrat among us, ladies and gentlemen, or lady and gentlemen. No, Quack, I love that knife. I love when I had a chance to experience the Arch Nemesis that Alex sent my way to check out, the dagger by him. Wow, that guy, man. Brian Nadeau makes some incredible, his work is amazing. CRKT Trask, Civivi Riffle, that's a cool one. And the Case Sodbuster. Nice choice. And nice 3-tier carry there. Honey Pie says, Murray Carter large neck knife around the neck, Emerson XL Karambit in my right pocket, and RMJ Shrike S13 in the bag. Shrike, which one is the Shrike? Is that the which one is the Shrike? I love RMJ. I would love to get one of those Tomahawks with the spike on the end. Speaking of Tomahawks, I'm going to be showing one off later that is so cool by Wingard Wearables called the Empress, and I'll leave it right there for a moment. James says, got the Monroe Sigil Mark IV with me today. That's an awesome knife. And, you know, you educated me on that not too long ago. You showed that one. Maybe you didn't show it off, but maybe we pulled that up. I love that knife. I love the blade on that knife. JN says, G10 20CV grip, 20 CV Delica, Obaki in waist and minimalist. Oh, nice. I love the Obaki. I'm very into cord wrap right now, and that scratches that itch. But I've been carrying my Tops Street Scalpel. That's right. You had that posted on Instagram. What a cool knife. And 2.0 Concept Main Street in brown micarta. Talking about this knife right here. This is one of my most carried recent purchases. Carry this thing all the time. And an Olight Warrior mini camo and a leather Skeletool. So very prepared. My eyes always kind of glaze over at the mention of torches. I'm told it's torches, just like it's not, you know, it's torches instead of flashlights, like it's film instead of movie, and it's vinyl instead of record. Sean T says, bedside stand check, CRK, Chris Reeve knives, Sabenza 21, field duty, etc. Neon Lefty 0, microcheck bounty. All right, cool, love it. It doesn't have to be that big to have all those knives either. So there's no excuse not to be well knived right next to the bed there. E&G EDC, great to have you here, sir. TRM Neutron 2 in textured carbon fiber. Nice. I just love TRM, and I like the people there an awful lot. Joe says, I have my Spyderco Drunken today. That's a Sinkovich design, I believe, and I love him. I love his knives, I guess I should say. So much so that I pulled out the 0542 this evening. One of my favorite designs by him. It's just sleek and lovely. I even can get by the fact that it's got that weave carbon fiber. Carrying my Vero Isotope and Spartan Talos today. I love those Spartan, the Talos and the other one that came out at the same time. Those are just, I'm glad they did that, because sometimes some of their knives could be out of reach, especially on a whim. And so sometimes you just want a new Harzy folder or a new Les George folder, and you don't want to pay out the nose for it. I love those. Plus, I hear they're great. Emerson Viper 5, beer and sausage GEC. Nice. Edwin with the Viper. Damn. Always up in his Emerson game. I know you've probably had that for a long time, but the Vipers are so sweet. That's what this is based on, right? Or is it the Viper 3 that this is based on? Let me know. Nick Martino. Oh, I just got the Topps mini sling this week. It's a blast to play around with. I don't know what that is. Oh, the mini slingshot. Cool. Nick EDC Top Libar. Oh, Fox Libar. Slip joint, MKM Colvera and MKM. So you are all in Italy today. Those are all Italian knives, and I approve. Bobby DeMarco approves. All right, let me show you something. Before we get to our special guest, and really I need some advice. We need some advice from you. I just want to show off the knife that you stand to win if you are a gentleman junkie next week. Black Multicam, nightstand check, great idea. Presently, the Cold Steel Trench Hawk. Yes. And Glock 29 SF. That's funny. The Trench Hawk. Just casually laying right on the... You know what? It's better than... I have a Gladius next to the bed, the traditional Filipino weapons-made Gladius, and it's long. I mean, it's totally impractical, but why not? Can I see what NAF Sergeant had to say there? Peter Resenti, Snafu, and Guardian Tactical Recon. Man, your collection is I'm getting to know it, and it's very nice. I had the SBDKNP Void. Okay, Knife Nuts Podcast, Sharp by Design, Void. Okay, and the Squid Industries Crake Raken. Is that... Okay, you lost me there. I don't know what the Squid Industries Crake Raken is. But that Knife Nuts Podcast Void is amazing looking. Never carried it, never held it, but you all have great. Today I had a Microtech Stitch Mini CQC7 and wore the Seiko SPB 143. A few people who are watching probably know what that is. I'm sure Slicey Dicey knows what that is if he's watching, because he's a Seiko man. I got a Seiko on right now, but it only has one number, and that's 5. Stretch ZDP and drop links. Very nice. Good to have you here, Ryan. All right, so check this out. Next week, this is what's going to be in the drawing. And yes, it's the XL Strata, the new XL knife on the block. This one is from Kershaw this time. The Shrike is a shorter version of the Shrike with reverse. Oh, God. It's not a reverse Tanto, but I know which one you're talking about. That's a beautiful knife. And the reason I say that is I just bristle at the term reverse Tanto. Okay, so this is the new kid on the block. This is the clip point, beautiful, Kershaw Strata XL. This is a sort of modern, and if I do say so myself, a bit of a Art Deco version of the classic Spanish Navaja folding knife. It got a very thin and also pocketed out. They didn't really need to do that, but it's got a very thin steel frame lock, and it is so light that I don't really think they needed to pocket it out, but they did, and I love that detail. It's got this beautiful loop over clip, which is fully aligned with the slightly longer show side scale. It's got this cool copper accent and amazing action. It's on bearings and it flies open. Just for a point of reference, here it is with the with 2 other venerated older school large fixed blade, large Navaja-esque knives. Well, this one's just a straight up Bowie. This is the Recon 1 XL, and here's the Espada large, because extra large doesn't fit on this screen. But you can see how big this Kershaw is. And I got to say, man, I am so happy that they are doing that they did this knife, and that the small version of this is a 4+. It's a 4 1/4 inch blade, which also looks pretty awesome. This, as I mentioned in my review of it, is this is the XL folder you carry with a tux, or that you throw in your summer weight suit, because it is very light and it's so thin. I wore this one day. So whoever gets this, I only carried it once, and I didn't even scratch up the pocket clip. I just had to see how it carried, and I carried this in jeans, and it was really, honestly, it was like carrying a very thin light knife that was much smaller. It really carries much smaller than it actually is. So if you're interested in having this for no money, well, I should say for not paying for it, if you want to win this knife, let's just put it that way, go to thenifejunkie.com/Patreon and well, sign up to be a gentleman junkie. Every month, third Thursday of the month, we do a giveaway, and it's always something cool, and it's always, I don't know, kind of wherever my whim takes me that month, or sometimes like Dave, This Old Sword, gave us some really cool knives, and we've given a few of those away. One of them I adopted, and then I still have two over there waiting to be given away, a tops and an off grid. So become a gentleman junkie. That's the top tier of support that we have, and see what you can get. And if you do, it's greatly appreciated. And those of you who already are, I know a couple of you are on right now. Thank you so much for your support. It really, really helps keep us going, keeps the infrastructure up, keeps some of the knives flowing in. And it's just greatly appreciated. Sean T says, is that, thank you, sir. Is that Strata XL in your pants? Or someone had to say it. Black Multicam says, got to pick up that Kershaw. You do. I think you'll like it. Knife Whisperer, he says. All right. So having gotten through a pocket check, didn't see that coming from Kershaw, but we love it. Agreed. And I have to say, probably the best design that I can think of this year, as I've mentioned a few times. I think their designs this year, though, I love that they're using a lot of bearings in their pivots. Too many notes, too many design notes, but I think they hit a really nice harmony with this one. It's got a couple of accents and they all work together. And I feel like some of the other ones have too many accents. Oh, look at this milling, and then look at this random piece, and then look at this, and oh, it's a weird shape, and it's just too much. I think you got to keep those things to a minimum so that they mean something. All right, so let's bring in our guest tonight. We have Tyler Person joining us. Tyler is a young man, and also, hey, Tyler, great to see you again, sir.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So you are Jim's son. Jim is the acclaimed. There he is. It's good to see your face on the show again, Jim.
Nice to be here.
And so acclaimed son of Jim, the acclaimed producer of this show. And it's great to have you on. Tyler, tell us a little bit about well, first, before we ask about your essay questions, where are you going to school? And tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So Tyler Person. I'm a student at Landmark College in Putney, Vermont. It's kind of a lesser known school, but it mainly focuses on like students with like learning disabilities and whatnot. And it's an awesome place, and I love being here. So what I'm doing today is basically I am writing for a scholarship that is part of a contest, and the prize is like $1,500, somewhere around that. That basically is a contest hosted by the tacticalknives.com. Basically essay, and then you get a topic. And my topic is how to care for, how to treat, and just overall like maintenance of domestic steel knives. And also a secondary topic is how to care for and treat Japanese chef's knives. So any information would be greatly appreciated.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Okay, so I'm just sitting here jealous in retrospect of the questions that I was not asked in college, and that was those are the two that I was never asked that I wish I got, because people are psyched to see Jim. Wait. Yes, Incognito Griffin has a great question. What are you carrying? And Monster Racing says, hello, Tyler. So show us what this is a pocket check. Let's see what you got.
I got Swiss pocket knife.
Yeah. Swiss Army knife. We got a Victorinox in the house, or is that a Wenger? Can't
I
tell.
think it has a W on it.
Oh, nice. That's a Wenger.
Yeah.
Is it Wegner or Wenger? But you don't see them as much now. So that's a nice one. Nice. What's Jim got?
Oh, I can figure out how to get it in the camera.
So that's your Ferrum Forge Civivi in Carolina blue.
That's right.
That's
Beautiful.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that is sweet. Awesome. Well, I'm glad to see that we're all carrying knives because, man, you need them. It's a hard world, and sometimes you just got to cut stuff. So, Tyler, Damascus steel, you might be familiar with it. It's that steel that oil up that Damascus really well. Okay, so Damascus is you take a couple of different steels and you heat them up. You can watch it being made all over YouTube or on Let's Write an Essay, says JN, or Forged in Fire, and it's an addiction. Great to have you here, sir. We're talking about Damascus steel, how to care for it, because our man here, Tyler, has to write an essay for school, which is so awesome, on how to care for Damascus steel. So there are some Damascuses that are stainless. Most of them are high carbon, as far as I know. And you see different patterns and swirls because you have two different steels molded what's the word? Forged together, forge welded together, basically. And then as you turn it and work it and pound it out and do different things with it, beautiful patterns emerge. And then some very deliberate patterns can be made, or random patterns. Mm-hmm. Nick Martino says, okay, I have 2 Damascus knives. I don't carry them. I just clean them with EDCI. That's a specialized kind of knife oil once a month, and they still look beautiful, easy to care for. So I see you feverishly taking notes. Remember, you can always watch this you can watch this again. But yeah, I think oil is definitely a good thing, probably for any blade, but for Damascus for sure. Nice carry, Jim, says Michael. I couldn't agree more. So so with stainless Damascus, I don't know. Does anyone out there know about that? So I had that Ian Pekarski made CMF Metalworks knife here last week, the Daedalus, and learned that was Chad Nichols' stainless. It's called Alien Damascus. So if anyone knows how to care for what the difference is between caring for stainless Damascus and high carbon Damascus, that would be helpful. So Tyler, high carbon steel is more commonly found in Damascus, and it's it rusts easier, so you have to care for it a little bit more. And so the oil really becomes pretty critical in that case. Murray Carter has a lot of info on YouTube on okay. So write this name down. Murray Carter on YouTube has a lot of info on caring for Japanese knives. He's a 17th generation Yoshimoto bladesmith, studied 18 years in Japan. He also has a few videos on Damascus. Hane Pai, that's an awesome tip, man. Thank you for that information.
Thank you.
Murray Carter. Okay, we will remember that. Edwin says, for Damascus, are you using it for food? Then use mineral oil. That's a good detail to put in there too. It'll show that you're differentiating. But that's a good idea, because if you don't use mineral oil, I think Edwin is suggesting if you don't use mineral oil, it might be toxic or it might flavor the food. But I think toxic is probably a bigger consideration. It's an Addiction says, yeah, I'm pretty sure Damascus is stainless too. Yeah, like that, like the Damascus that Chad Nichols that was on that Daedalus. I found out after I misspoke. Ian got in touch with me and said, let me know that was indeed stainless. EDCI is food safe, so great for knives in the kitchen. Okay. That's good to know. EDCI, I believe that's Jim Skelton's. Doesn't Jim Skelton have some interest in EDCI? I think he might be part owner of that company. Blade Hobby says, I always use a thin coat of oil on all my Damascus. Blade Hobby, do you have a lot of Damascus? And let us know, do you have high carbon and also stainless? So Tyler, let me ask you this. Oh, look at this. We're getting a lot of info here. Caleb says, got my mom a Mattia Barani Bowie chef's knife. Those are just so stunning. In stainless Damascus, and she does absolutely nothing to maintain it other than put it up dry. That's funny. Excuse me. It would be, can you imagine coming over and finding her putting it in the dishwasher? How horrible that would be. I've just been using light Remington oil. Interesting. So I think a YouTube video would always be a good thing. It would be cool for you, Tyler, to check out how it's made. It can be really, what's the word? What is the word? Like hypnotic to watch this super hot metal get folded and compressed and turned into what it is. It's just fun to zone out and watch. For kitchen knife, mineral oil is the best since it doesn't affect the food quality. All right, cool. Chris Reeve uses WD-40 when the blade is dry to help protect against the pattern fading. Oh, that's interesting. Definitely not for a kitchen knife though. Like camellia oil for my So I like camellia oil for my Damascus and high carbon blades. Camellia oil. I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to write that down though, because I have a lot of high carbon. I really have a sad dearth of Damascus. I have no Damascus. Camellia. Actually, that is not true. My mom got me a beautiful Damascus blade unmounted years ago. She got me and my brother Vic one for Christmas. His had a swedge. I was jealous. I was actually jealous of that. But beautiful pieces. I think she got them on Etsy from some knife maker. And man, I've always been like, someday I'll put a handle on that. Sean T says, Damascus is like a croissant. Just layers upon layers. I like that, Sean T. You're making me hungry. Nick says, totally depends if it is used or stored. Very true mineral oil for everyday use. And anything else if it's stored. Okay. So this is interesting. It's an interesting topic for an essay because I think you're going to have to fluff it up a little bit, give it a little bit of because, you can't just put oil on it at the end. You know what I mean? Hey guys. Oh, we have Jake and Ben. Great to have you both here.
Thanks, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, it looks like I'm the only clean-shaven one this time.
The beard habit.
I don't know what happened.
But yeah, right. You're a very swarthy man. Well, it's great to have you guys here. How's the shoulder, Ben?
I'm healing like Wolverine, Bob.
Yeah, I like it. I used to think that I healed like Wolverine. I do from the cuts, but this thing's been it's been getting better. What can I say? Okay, Jake, how you doing, man?
Doing well. Been a good day over here.
Yeah. What were you carrying today?
I carried the Vero Isotope that I just opened up yesterday. The new integral model from him.
Oh God.
And then I also I always carry a smaller secondary. So I carried the Spartan Talos. Field grade.
Man, that is nice. So how are you liking the Vero? This is a large one, right? This is the new large.
Yeah. So I think the handle size is about the same as his Impulse model, but it gets a little bit more blade length somehow. He just crams a little bit more in there. I'm a little torn on it, if I'm being totally honest. I love it in a lot of ways, but I need to disassemble it. The action isn't quite right on it out of the box.
Okay.
And the clip is still a little tight for me. And I'm wearing thin shorts today, so it's working out well. But yesterday I wore thicker shorts, and it was a chore getting it in and out of pocket. But it's the way it goes.
let me ask you a question here. I have never held a Vero. I think they're beautiful, and I think he's a cool guy, and I like the whole vibe of the Enterprise. I have heard some issues on the rise on the clips, ergonomically. Is that an issue for you?
Clip. He put in a plateau on the end of it now, so it flattens out. So this one doesn't have the hotspot, and I've reviewed the Synapse, the Impulse Mini, and the Axon, 2 of which I owned, 2 of which were loaners. And on every single one of them, I complained that the clip was a hotspot, and that's fixed on this clip. It doesn't bother me in hand anymore. It's just still too tight, which was the other half of the clip problem. But that's better to only have half the problem instead of all of it. And
seemingly something you could remedy without much. Not that you want to, not that you want to have to, but if you want to keep it and you want to, So I think that putting that plateau though, that's really great. And hold up that comment for a second there, Jim, please. I think putting that plateau is awesome, not only because you're saying that the ergonomics are much better, but also it just shows that he cares and that he's nimble enough to do that. And I like that. Yeah, exactly. Dan says flaxseed oil from the health food store works for me, and you can cook with it. And if it's a wood handle, okay, so this is Tyler. This is something you're going to have to think of too, the handle. If it's a wood handle, a little beeswax on the handle for food safe. That's cool. So, maybe your Burt's Bees, you just rub it on the handle. No. So that's a good bit of advice. Gents, we are getting a little some advice for Tyler Person. This is Jim, our producer's son, and he's got 2 essays to write for college scholarship that he could be getting on how to care for Damascus blades and how to care for Japanese chef's knives. What do you have there, Ben?
So this is called Tsubaki oil, and it is from Japan. And I got this at my shop where my friend works, where they sell high-end Japanese chef's knives. It's basically Japanese mineral oil, but this is what the Japanese people use. So maybe write it down, Tsubaki, Tsubaki. And it says preserving and lubricating oil.
Right on, Ben.
Alrighty, thank you.
Ben, that's awesome.
This little bottle has lasted me forever. Look how little I've used. It just seems to refill itself.
Hey, maybe offline after the show at some point, you could email us the information for this guy's shop, and maybe he would have some advice he could send along too.
I actually hoping I can get back to you during the show because I sent him a text. So if we're lucky, he chimes in. If not, I can certainly connect you with him, and if I can't connect you with him, I'll get the data for you.
Right on.
Great,
so,
appreciate it. Thank you.
Ben, we're gonna get your carry today, but there was a question going to Jake about what was that? The isotope? How big is that isotope?
I'm not a big specs guy, but if you look at handle length, like pivot to pivot, it's about the same in handle length as an Arius. I don't know, is the Arius a 4.5 inch handle, something like that. And then you get a little more blade length. I'd say it's probably 3 3/4 of blade, and probably 4.5 of handle.
Nice.
But, again, I'm the wrong guy to ask specs to. I do have a ruler. Hold on. I got NAFSCO one this week.
You got a what one?
The NAFS ruler, Ben Banter's.
Oh, nice.
These titanium rulers with an edge angle finder.
That's rad.
So yeah, if I go inches on the blade from the foremost part of the pivot, it's just a hair under 4. So 3.9. And then handle length, we're looking at pretty much 5 inches on the money, if I'm measuring correctly. So almost 5 and 4.
Nice. That sounds like a good handle to blade ratio.
Yeah, it really is. It especially visually, it looks like a lot of blade for the handle.
God, that's beautiful. I want to ask you about the double finger swale in a minute. Tsunami oil is camellia oil, available on Amazon. Great stuff.
I think you mean Tsubaki oil.
Okay. So Ben, what were you carrying today? Ben of Jack Wolf Knives.
I've been really slowing down my acquisitions recently, but I've had my eye on this one, and I never see it come up for sale. And someone put it up for sale in one of the groups, so I pulled the trigger. Hold on. So focus. Can you see it?
It looks like
There
a
we go.
oh, is that a Stockman?
Yep. So there's 3 blades in there. It's the number 66 pattern.
Oh, but this one has an awl, doesn't it?
This one does not. If it did, it would never leave, but it has a clip point and there's no half stop. But the 66 is one of the patterns I give a pass to because it's just awesome. So it's got clip point, and then you flip it over and it's got, hold on. I kind of have to work with one hand here. It kind of hurts to raise my left arm, but I got the spade blade, and then it's got the
sheep's foot.
Sheep's foot, yep.
Is that Gabon ebony?
It is. You got it. Bingo.
Nice. I have the 66 in that blade configuration with green canvas micarta, and I got that knife after I saw Rob Bixby's review of that. Oh man, I just love that knife. But
it's a classic slip joint, right? Like this is one of the ones we think about when we think about a slip joint.
Yeah. I'm curious that you're not carrying a one-handed knife with your arm in a sling. I found when my arm was in a sling, I guess it's not in a sling, but I found that when I was kind of injured, I was like, oh, I get it. This is why we have one-handed knives, because it's Tyler, what do you think of all these like really super sweet knives you're being exposed to?
It's a lot to learn, especially the names. I'm like, oh, okay. This one, which one are we talking about? Like, but I mean, seeing some of these, I'm like, whoa, like, woo. I mean, I have to stick with a pocket knife, but well, I don't doubt that these are like great to collect and use and carry. I'm digging it so far.
Cool. Who knows? Maybe there's a little something new in your near future.
Probably.
We'll see. What was that last question? Was there something? Well, so Ben, Jack Wolf, how's it going? Are you excited for Blade?
Can't remember the last time I've been this excited for anything.
Cool.
Well, yeah, everything's coming together really well. I've been working hard getting the table prepared and some giveaway goodies, and had a little photo shoot today.
Oh, nice. Oh, my lands. Look at that.
What was that? Was that a sneak peek?
Yes. Coincidentally, of the model I want.
This is a laid back Jack. This isn't the Venom.
Oh, nice. Oh, ooh. Yeah, but I want the laid back Jack too. I mean, I kind of want them all. So beautiful.
Focus, you thing. It's like my lighting isn't great, but I try.
Yeah. So when did this come in? So Tyler, this Ben here has just started his own knife company, and he specializes in old school pocket knives made in new school materials. And this is a model called the swayback. I mean, it's a model style called the swayback, but you call this the
laid back. And he had one of the best manufacturers in the world make his knives for him, and I can see the hollow grind on that, man. That looks so nice. It's got a wicked dished out hollow grind. It is so thin behind the edge. I couldn't slice up stuff with it yet because I had to take pictures. But, man, they nailed these.
That's awesome.
No gaps. Everything perfectly flat. Yep, came out nice.
Beautiful. Congratulations, man. That's a really nice accomplishment. I mean, really, really nice looking knife, and just something to be proud of.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, does anyone have any final suggestions for Tyler before he takes off?
I've got one more. I'm just spend a lot of time in that knife shop, and I've heard my friend talk about caring for these knives. I'm pretty sure one thing he says about those nice Japanese knives is you don't have to put them in the dishwasher.
Oh,
so just wash it in your sink, with some light soap and water. You don't need to run it through the dishwasher's hard on stuff. So, that's, I think, probably a lot of people probably make that mistake once, and you can teach people to prevent from making that mistake.
Yeah, putting it in the dishwasher, any knife in the dishwasher, is terrible for the handles, especially. And we put some of our older steak knives in the dishwasher at this point. They have the plastic handles and such. But Michael Morgan says, "Good luck, Tyler." Yeah, Tyler. I'm always here. You can, for what I know, you can ask me, and then we can always reach out to some of our. What's your deadline?
So my deadline is May 31st or May 30th, May 31st.
May 30th.
One of those 2 dates.
Oh, so you have at least 10 days to put this off before you start.
Yeah.
just kidding. Just kidding, Jim. Yeah, I'm joking. I got this. I got that habit from my sister. Always pulling it out in the last minute and crushing it wrong. He says, "You're right. I know. I'm just kidding. Just kidding."
Another thing too, Bob, we didn't talk about is part of maintaining it is keeping it sharp.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's definitely
right. Like a knife, once it goes dull, you can't strop it back when it's dull. So if you're using a knife, you should strop it after you use it and realign, all those little jagged little edges and put them in a nice clean row.
So Tyler, real quick, and JN just suggested the very same thing, and that's a strop that Jake is holding up there.
Yep.
It's a piece of leather mounted to a piece of wood with some stropping compound on it, which is a material, which is like a compound that has very small micro abrasives in it. And when you look at a knife, say that this is a knife blade, and we're looking at it in cross section, it's made up of a bunch of little teeth. When you look really close, and when you use it, the teeth kind of come out of true. But if you strop it or use a steel, but a strop preferably, it brings the teeth back into true, and you can cut and it's sharp again. That's honing it or stropping it. But if you dull it to the point where the edge looks like this, then you have to remove metal. You have to sharpen it using stones and all that, and you have to remove that metal, and the blade gets smaller and shorter or thinner this way, and also thicker behind the edge, which makes it less slicey. So if you can maintain the knives on the regular, I used to be obsessive with my kitchen knives, using a steel, and then now I just have a strop in the kitchen, and you can just bring it back to true without having to remove any metal or reduce the actual width of that blade. So yeah, that's a great point, JN and Ben, to bring up, and thank you for that visual. Yeah,
another thing Oh, sorry, Bob.
I'm just reading. It's an Addiction says, yeah, I would imagine the heat from a dishwasher would be pretty rough on any knife, never mind the dry cycle. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Ben, what were you going to say?
I've heard him talk about those metal rods too. These, I've heard him explain, he's a master sharpener. I've heard him explain that those are used to knock off a burr. Those are not for sharpening. I think a lot of people misuse those rods. So really they're for knocking off a burr. And you have to obviously have the angle correct, or you're just dulling the edge.
Yes.
A lot of people do more harm than they do good using those kitchen sharpeners that come in a knife block, thinking, "Oh, I'm sharpening it." I've seen them do it on Iron Chef America, but it's not that simple.
Ladies and gentlemen, we had Matthew Christensen with us. Matthew, great to have you, and congratulations on the release of the Wee Thug. Such an awesome knife. Had that in my possession for a short period of time when you loaned it to me, and I loved it. It's definitely on my list. Lefty EDC says, Jake, you haven't changed your hat position in at least 5 minutes. There you go. So misuse of a steel. It's too straight an edge and refine. Wait. Oh, it's to straighten an edge and refine the edge. Yeah, I have always had good success with the steel. I feel like my grandfather kind of showed me how to use it, in a very shallow angle. And but since I've started stropping, I've less and less with that. Now it's more kind of like what Ben was just saying, a burr is when you sharpen and you get that little, each time you sharpen on both sides, you get the little thin kind of piece running along the whole edge. You just kind of have to knock that off. And yeah, I've used the steel for that. Sometimes I have some knives in the kitchen junk drawer that are very sharp, but I kind of don't care about much. And yeah, I've actually sharpened the knife on the bottom rough edge of the marble countertop, and then knocked the burr off with the steel. Any other suggestions, guys? You got some good ones here.
I don't know. Keep them clean, keep them oiled. It's don't neglect them, right? That's probably how things get in bad shape, is because maintenance isn't performed. You let them sit there with acid from food on it. I don't know. It's kind of straightforward. That's
a big one there. Making sure that they're properly cleaned. What are you using these things for? To cut food, to cut vegetables and, onions and stuff. And that can be really corrosive. And so you don't want to leave it on there. So yeah, definitely make sure.
I'm not a big Damascus guy myself. I've owned a few Damascus knives, but each of them have been brief. But to me, I am big into knife maintenance. So I've got a strop. I have my own sharpening equipment, all of that stuff. And the way I think of it is basically Damascus is the same as any other steel, except you've got a couple of them in one place, right? And so some steels are easier to maintain than others, and Damascus just becomes a little extra difficult because by nature, in order to get the pattern that looks cool and performs the way they want, usually there's a high carbon steel in there, which just means it's prone to rusting and corroding. And so anything that you would do to any steel that's prone to corrosion and rust is what I would do in that case. And for me, unless my knives sit in the case for too long, that's really the place where I'd actually encounter the most corrosion. It's just like humidity in the air. If they're knives I carry and use a lot, I literally just I keep a hank nearby, and most of them have microfiber on the back. And so I'll use the microfiber. If there's more gunk than that on it, I'll spit on my fingers, rub that on the blade, and then I'll use the microfiber. I don't do anything crazy. I think a lot of people, even within the depths of the knife hobby, are always looking for a new thing for knife maintenance, whether it's EDCI or frog lube, or there's all these things product wise you can use. To me, it's just about keeping it dry, keeping it stored properly, making sure I'm not putting it away wet or leaving it dirty. And if after I use it, I clean it and keep it dry, then I don't run into issues. So that's just kind of the way I look at it. But again, I'm not a huge Damascus guy, so there could be part of that world that I'm not privy to just because I don't participate in it so much.
Right.
Steven, you're stuck to the wall.
Yeah. How's it going?
I haven't a clue what I'm doing.
How's it going, sir? You're breaking up on us. It's so good to see your face and to hear your voice, but let's hear it even clearer. I think I see your knife case in the background. As Stephen comes online, Matthew Christensen, who of course is a master knife maker, was saying use the bottom of a ceramic coffee cup, and who among us hasn't done that? And really, I mean, that's what I do sometimes with the knives I have at work. I have a couple of knives in the desk. I have an Open L. I have a little kitchen knife there. I had a Spyderco with 8CR13 MOV, or resistance, and resistance. Yeah, the resistance, and that really does work. That bottom of the coffee cup thing, and I saw that first in a movie about the Boxer Rebellion. I can't remember what it was called, and it was in a food market, and someone in China, and someone was sharpening one of those big vegetable cleavers from China on the bottom of a bowl, and I thought that was the coolest thing, so I gave that a try. When was the last time you fully sharpened a pocket knife? I haven't used anything but a strop for over a year at this point. I mean, honestly, me neither. And any actual sharpening hasn't been in a while, because I've been collecting the knives with the stouter steels and I rotate them so frequently. really don't have to. But I do like stropping. I do get a little obsessed about that.
Yeah, the most common scenarios where I need to sharpen are either outdoor knives that I've got with me hiking or camping, where I'm really abusing the gear. And usually even then I can get away with stropping. But if I need to sharpen, it's typically because I hit something a little harder than I should have with it, or on an EDC knife, if I hit a staple or something, if I chip or roll an edge badly enough that I need to actually reprofile a little bit, then I'll sharpen. But yeah, most of the time, unless I'm testing a blade to see where its limits are, I'll strop way before I get dull and just keep an edge going.
Yeah. Black Multicam says, I've got a couple of crappy OS 8 blades. I actually enjoy beating up to butter knife dull, then resharpening. That's funny. It doesn't take too long, but I mean, that's what I like about those kind of steels. Howdy, beautiful people, says Grateful Panic. Great to have you here, sir. I'm not sure if you've joined us before, but I dig your videos. It's good to have you here. So Tyler, any questions, anything you want to put forth before you go ahead and start writing these essays tonight, because you're not going to put it off to the last minute?
I think I'm at a good spot right now. I have a lot of other great outside resources. Few friends here in the knives, so figured I'd ask them too before I head back. But no, all this input has been like really helpful. I'm writing a lot of this stuff down, so I appreciate all the contributions.
Don't forget
to good use.
Don't forget, you can rewatch this, and also if Ben's friend who owns that store, Nighty Night from Dad, if Ben's friend gets back to us, we'll definitely make sure you get that information too.
Alrighty, thank you so much.
Hey man, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure re-seeing you.
I appreciate it.
All righty, man. Bob. Oh, my pleasure. Take care.
See you around.
See ya. So, gents, I gotta show you something. Have you? This is something new I've gotten, and please feel free. I know you just showed us your new Vero, but feel free to unearth some of the newest things in your collection. I want to show you something that I just got that I've been fascinated with for a few months now, and I got it. I got one. Have you heard of a company called Wingard Wearables?
No. I've heard the name, but okay. I haven't played with anything they make.
This is an Empress Tomahawk made by Wingard Wearables. It's a company, Zach Wingard out of, sorry chaps, interweb playing up. I'll just enjoy the show. Stephen, please try next week. It's always awesome to have you on. Well, always great to have input from everybody, but you're so awesome. So yeah, please try again or join us next week. This is a Tomahawk from Wingard Wearables called the Empress, and it is based on the Megalodon. This front blade is based on the tooth, of a Megalodon. And so if you look at it, it's sort of broad on top, and then it's curved on this surface, and it's sharp down here and kind of flat on this side. Whoa. And it's quite sharp. And then the wearables part of their name comes from the fact that a Warhammer. Yes,
like I need your body or something.
Yes. All of their stuff. He's got another Tomahawk and a few other products, and they're all meant to sort of very ergonomically fit into your wear and carry. And this is, and then down here you have this, it's not sharpened. It's sort of a chisel. It's evocative of a shark's head. And you've got these grooves here that are evocative of gills for grip. But this thing is cast silicone bronze up here. And the handle is, it looks like a raptor's claw. It is a pretty wicked thing here. And this is hickory from Pennsylvania. And the wedge, it's sort of wedged in here like a traditional axe handle. That's hickory also. And you've got this crazy resin in here. And good evening, Grinding Knives. Good to have you here. We're all doing well and chit-chatting. And I'm showing off this. I've not heard of them, Futurama. Not heard of them. I'm not sure I understand the reference. I know Futurama, but I'm not sure I understand that reference. Please explain. Yeah. So this thing for a tomahawk, this is 9 ounces, which is incredibly light. I have the Hogue Elishewitz designed. I can never remember EXT01 or whatever. It's the same size. Great tomahawk also, but 3 times the weight because it's a full tang steel blade. And yeah, this thing is insane. And I'm a sucker for tomahawks and Warhammer type things. And I kept seeing this, and the guy Zach, who will be on the show later in the month, or early in June actually, but I've been watching his videos, fascinated, and I love the fact that this is all made close by in Pennsylvania, and I love that it's just unusual. I've never seen anything quite like it, and it's light and durable, and it has become it's only happened once, but this is my 5 a.m. walking in the woods with the dog, thing, just in case I have to chop some wood, right?
So is that meant to be more of like a throwing tomahawk, or are you meant to chop things with it?
You're meant to discourage conflict with this, I believe.
Sure. So hand to hand.
Yeah. But it's cool. It came with a little card. He wrote a nice note on it, but a little card explaining the details of it, but also here you see, if you throw it, apparently it makes a good thrower. It won't stick in wood because of the shape of the shape of that tooth. He explains a great target for learning how to throw it. But he stresses here, tuck the tomahawk up front to the shoulder instead of bringing it around the back because of the obvious, hazard that awaits if you do bring it all the way to the back. This is sharp on the inner edge and very pointy. And so yeah, this is my latest acquisition, and I'm kind of crazy about it, and it's kind of a crazy product, beautifully handmade. But check this out; it's got a cool sheathing situation here, system, I guess I should call it. It's got these flexible cords here, or elastic cords, and that would be my going to Walmart carry. Yeah, these days. Or, yeah, right. I was going to say, or flying on an airplane, but of course you're not going to bring this on the airplane. But it seems like every day I see that people are losing their ever-loving minds on airplanes. But so these cords can attach to your waist or your belt, your waistline or your belt, and then you just pull it and it comes out real easily. You just kind of push it forward and pull it back, and it releases. So this thing is just really cool. It's, if you look at the wall behind me, I have an interest in these kind of things. Not that I have a lifestyle that requires them or anything like that, but I just, I love the uniquely fashioned implements and stuff like that.
How long is it end to end, Bob? How long is that thing?
13 inches.
Oh man, that thing's so freaking cool.
And it's so light. It's insanely light. Like I said, 9 ounces with the sheath, eight and an eighth, I think, without the sheath. And it has obvious martial applications if you were to go that way. But I mean, that's Road Warrior scenario. It's not, just it's kind of like collectible for me. It's collectible like these things back here. It's just and he's got another model of that, another model of Tomahawk that's interesting if you're interested in this. I would be scared that I would stab myself. Yeah.
It's very Mad Max. That thing is screams Mad Max, dude.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It also reminds me a bit, we can't carry a toothpick and you can carry that. Steven, I don't think I can carry it. I'm just not permitted to carry it. Out and about. God, can you imagine?
American toothpick.
What, officer? It's for work. Yeah. Well, what do you do? Yeah, there we go. Such a cool thing.
Oh, man. Gentlemen, I've got a boogie, but I appreciate you having me on, Bob.
Oh, Jake, it's always a pleasure, man. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for showing off that beautiful Vero, and also helping supply a little bit of advice to Tyler. I think it's it's great to get a lot of different inputs. So thank you, sir.
Pleasure's all mine. We'll see you again soon.
All righty, sir. Take care. Ben, what do you said your acquisitions have winded down a little bit, but you got that 66. That's a beaut.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Springs are a little light for my liking, but not going to complain.
Hey, okay. Yeah, no, there's nothing to complain about. And yeah, I give the lack of, there are a couple of knives that I actually don't mind the lack of half stop, and that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The sod busters are coming out. I actually bought one of those.
Is it which pattern is that? The 79, 73?
71.
71?
71. Yeah, they just came out with it. They released the maroon, or I guess it's red or maroon micarta, one of the two. I want to say it's a linden micarta, but I'll probably screw that up. Let's just call it red micarta.
Right.
And then the green one is rolling out here next. So haven't seen a sneak peek of those, but would like to grab one of those.
I've got the green one from the last run. It's a great knife. Jim just had that up. We have Michael Miller of Tactile Knives coming on. Tactile Knife Company is a company born of Tactile Turn pen company. I know Jake, who was just on, has one of their has the rock wall knife, and also has some of their pens, which actually I should have asked him about while he was on. But very interesting conversation, very interesting knife outfit. They are brand new also, Ben. They got, I guess, a couple of half a year, 9 months on you. And it was really interesting to talk to them about, or to talk to him about, a brand new knife venture, and what it's like, figuring out everything and what it's like manufacturing all that stuff. So it was an interesting conversation. Check it out. So I got a question for you, Ben. I don't know if you've seen this, the Spyderco reveal, the number 8 reveal of the year, is, and I know you're not a huge Spyderco fan, but this is kind of a question. They released, a number of knives, and none of them are new, and that's fine. But it's kind of like a bunch of stuff with new materials that they've done before, like another police light model. And the one that excites me the most is the one that I've seen the most pictures of, and that's the Resilience. I kind of like that knife. I've had one, and I've altered the blade, but I've always been thinking about getting a virgin Resilience, and never really had. I said Resistance before, I meant Resilience. And I love this. It's a big blade. It's a 4 1/4 inch blade, and I love it with the serrations and with the light, that light handle, the GRN handle. So this is one that excites me. But in general, how do you? Well, I'll tell you how I feel, and then I'm going to ask you, because that's a leading question. In general, I don't get so excited about the re-release of models that we've seen just in new materials and new configurations. How do you feel about that?
Well, before I answer, that looks a lot like an Endura, doesn't it? That other one? Like, how's that one different from an Endura, that Resilience?
An Endura has well, first of all, this is larger, but the Endura has a more triangular blade. This is a little more leafish. An Endura would taper. I have one close at hand, but not close enough. An Endura blade tapers. The spine of the blade is straight instead of curved like that, and it tapers more abruptly, I guess I'll say. It's a less broad blade towards the tip, and the handle's just, it's a different shaped handle.
Okay,
but
fair enough.
But to your point, Spyderco's all kind of do look very similar. They to maybe a less specific eye for Spyderco's. You know what I mean? They look they all kind of look the same a little bit.
They do. I mean, I respect the brand. I love some of their products. I'm not a huge collector. The one that really clicked with me was the Stretch. I tried a bunch of them when I started collecting knives again, and that one just was ergonomically a good fit for me. But, you know, to answer your question, even with that Stretch, like they got one in the green, it's FRN, right? The green FRN handle with the Z whatever steel, ZP whatever. And, you know, there was a micarta one, but I don't get too stoked for like what you're saying. You're gonna come out with something new that's not something new. I'm not much of a steel guy, you know, like I don't get super excited for something coming out in a new type of steel. That's probably because I'm spoiled and I have a buddy who sharpens my knives, you know? So it's like, I don't really have to, I'm fortunate that I don't have to deal with the complications from sharpening a steel that doesn't sharpen the way you like it.
Yeah.
I mean, they all cut and they all cut great when they're sharpened correctly and they're properly maintained on a strop. So I'm not a steel snob. So I wouldn't get excited. You know what would make me excited is like make a mini version of it, make a bigger version of it, or, you know, change something about it. Like give it a new blade shape, you know, or a new locking mechanism, maybe like something material.
Yeah. Well, to your point, they got you covered with the size. You know, they have such a broad range of sizes and models that are similar in different sizes. So, but something like I like their collaboration knives. Was it Nav Sergeant? Someone just said they wanted to try the Spy Opera. Or Nick was talking about Nick Martino, but you know, he's a Yojimbo lover. I too love the Yojimbo. Like that's a totally kind of different look. Yes, it's got the Spidey hole, but it's a collaboration knife, and so it's an opportunity to express something different. Plus, it has the compression lock, which I love the compression lock. Oh, Nav Sergeant was saying that the Endura also is a back lock as opposed to the liner lock.
That makes sense.
So I mean, there's a lot of subtlety there, and I get why. You know, it's like anyone. Well, you know, you understand the collectability aspect of getting the same knife over and over in different materials through the GEC 15. You know, I totally get it. If you're a Spyderco, you know, hardcore Spyderco collector / fan, I get why the reveal. You know, this reveal would be exciting, or any of the reveals where it's like a sprint run of something or a change up of materials of something. To me, who I have I have a dozen Spyderco knives and I'm very fond of them. I used to have a baker's dozen, Nick. No, so I'm very fond of what I have, but I'm not always running out to get them. I tend to like the more unique Spydercos, and they do have a lot of cool, unique Spydercos. So I was hoping to see something like the Patata or the Yojimbo or the Uliza or something that's just different. Spy Opera, for instance, which I believe is a collaboration with Lion Steel. Bob, do you have the Spyderco Tropin? No, always been a little bit interested in that. But that design, I love a lot about it. It reminds me a bit of the CQC 8 by Emerson. But that's on that knife. I was like, why did they have to do that? Why did they have to put the hole in the blade? I know that's their signature and everything. I always thought one too many details on the Ricasso blade area, but I've seen it also customized, and I very much like what you can do with it. The Smock and the Gale Bradley too are tops on my list. Yeah, that Smock is a pretty interesting knife. What's the gentleman's name from Smock Knives? Something Smock. I can't remember his first name, but hey, there he is. Hey, Stephen.
Oh, let me get myself in the picture.
There he is.
Go. How you doing?
Oh, doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. God, I can't get this picture. Where am I? Oh, here I am. There we go.
Grateful
Your
Panic
beard
says
looks
potato,
good,
patata.
It's coming on. I'm getting it ready for December.
That looks great, man. You're going to be Santa Claus in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, I got my hair cut this week for the first time in about 2 months.
Oh, right on.
We came out of lockdown about 2 weeks ago, so I've been chilling in the caravan. It's fantastic.
I saw those pictures on your Instagram feed. I think your grandchildren were visiting you, and it just looked so blissful, domestic bliss there.
Oh, it's just heaven. Sadly, they're coming back again this weekend.
That's funny. And you're right by the water there, too.
Yeah, I'm about 40 yards from the water.
Oh, God.
Just
yeah,
heaven.
That looked dreamy. My sister spent a year in Galway when she was a junior in college. And I never went to visit her when she was there. But I did make it to Dublin that year, and I loved being in Ireland. But that West Coast, the rocky, romantic, cold, stormy, I loved the look of it from her pictures.
It is stunning. I've been up and down the West Coast of Ireland in a motorhome and just wild camped, and it was heaven. Absolute heaven.
And I got to say, people are super cool there. Kevin,
yeah,
okay,
very
thank you.
So.
Yeah. So, not to be prying, but I see that knife case behind you. What? Tell me.
This is my caravan setup. So that's all my GECs and my higher end UK legal knives. I just got this one recently. I don't know whether you've seen it.
Oh yes, with the rounded handle. Yeah. What is this?
Yeah, I mean, this is the high end model of it, and it is just it is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. The wood on the handle is, let me just get this.
Oh yeah, that looks nice.
It's just beautiful. Really stunning. So I'm trying to collect some more of the European knives as well as just, GECs and spreading my wings a wee bit. But I have to say, you influenced this by, this is just one of the ones. This is the oil field jack.
Yeah. The 86.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But this one has the most beautiful scales on it.
Oh, man.
They are stunning, and they're very knobbly as well. A lot of them seem to be very smooth.
Can I see the other side?
Yeah. Well,
do they call that pioneer bone or something?
They just call oily bone, I think.
Oily bone.
Man, that looks gorgeous.
It really just looks like something that's fallen on a mechanic's workshop floor and just covered the bone handle. It's beautiful.
Wow.
And Bob, you're going to be the blame tonight. I also got my first tortoiseshell.
Yeah.
66.
Yeah, beautiful little knife. I'd never seen one of these, and it is stunning. It's the same size as 15, but you've got the 3 blades on it. It's a beautiful little Stockman.
Same one as this that I've been carrying.
All right. Yeah, that's beautiful. Really lovely. I'm not sure on this faux tortoiseshell, I'll have to say.
No?
It's not. I don't know. I'm not sure on it yet. I've only had it about 2 weeks.
What about it don't you like? The feel or the look?
No, it's just the look of it. It feels gimmicky rather than. I've never seen real tortoiseshell knives, so I've nothing to compare it to. I'm not sure how close it is to the real thing.
I always liked tortoiseshell because it reminds me of the pick guards of Fender guitars and basses. And I love that look. And also I know tortoiseshell played in heavily in the early 20th century. Like, I don't know. I guess I idealized that time. Some of the things they had, sunglasses and combs and different,
I love the knife pattern. So I'm hoping the tortoiseshell is going to be a slow burner.
Yeah, it grows on you. One day you can't live without it.
Yeah, very much so.
Black Multicam says that wood is gorgeous.
This is another thing that I'm going to stop watching your channel. I'm now getting into fixed blades, and this is a little local fella here that's making these. Cool. But he does it's just a highly polished blade on it. It is stunning. Lovely little work. It's just a wee work knife, but really beautiful.
That is sweet. How do you carry that one?
It comes with a beautiful leather sheath.
Nice.
Comes with it, and the red stitching on the sheath. It's just beautiful.
Nice. That looks like the kind you could drop in your pocket.
You actually could, yeah, you could if you want. In fact, I'm thinking of maybe getting a Kydex sheath, a slim one. Oh, what's that now?
Oh, check this out.
Patty, look, Stephen.
Oh, what's that?
That's it.
Is that a prototype?
That's a prototype, bud.
Oh, mama. Oh,
yeah.
Open that blade up. That is just good. Sorry, this is going to be a traditional show. Thank you very much.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, my giddy aunt.
Yes. Oh, my giddy
aunt.
That
is stunning.
See the hollow grind as it kind of...
Oh, I'm feeling moist. Is that normal for a man?
Oh, moister than an oyster, my friend.
That is gorgeous.
Jesus, I love it.
The grinds, like the execution is ridiculous. Everything is dead nut center, symmetrical.
Just,
hey, so black
is stunning. I love the handle. It looks like a good end on it. I like a bulbous end, and that really does seem like
yeah, it's a sway back. And then let me see. I want to do it justice, but
Black Multicam wants to know when you're going to be selling them.
So once I approve prototypes, it'll take 3 to 4 months for the production cycle. Damn,
that's beautiful.
There, look at that.
I think I'm going to have to wake my wife up.
The best 2 minutes of her life.
You've made an old man very happy.
Look at these bad boys, man. I can't wait to get one out to you.
That is gorgeous. But it's your clip point, the clip point I'm really looking forward to.
So I'm just going to tease you guys with this one, but I got 7 models.
Oh, dude. So you got seven prototypes in your possession right now?
Yep, 3 pieces each, so 21 pieces. And I did professional photography today. We took the whole day, but we got multiple position shots of every knife and a couple collection shots too.
Oh, dude, that is so awesome!
Cannot coming
wait.
Together. There's some tweaks I want to make as far as like the walk and talk and spring weights and stuff. So I'm being really, really picky. Like I want these things to be perfect. You know what I mean? So I may have to go another round of prototypes with the factory. And if it delays me 3 months, it delays me 3 months. You know what I mean?
We'll wait.
It is what it is. I want these things to be perfect. I'd say they're 90, 95% there already. And I think to the untrained user, they're going to pick them up and be like, these are great, but I know what I want.
What sort of spring weight are you going to put on them?
This one's fine. There's some of the models are a little lighter than I'd like. I would say I'm aiming for like a 7, like a 6.5, 7.
7 is perfect. That's definitely perfect.
Right.
Sorry,
anything
what are you talking
heavier.
About, Scary? I love that stuff.
Anything heavier. Some people struggle to open them. Like, have you ever hand a stiff slip joint to someone and they're like doing this? And it's like they're never going to use it if they buy one because they're intimidated. They can't open it.
Yeah,
especially women. We don't want to assume that every one of these knives is getting in the hands of a man. And if women care about their nails a lot, like I've handed some of my GECs to my wife, and if they're too stiff, it's like it's hard to get the nails in there. You don't want to break the nails and all that.
The British Barlows are very, very strong. They're about an 8.5. And even I sometimes break a nail pulling them open.
Yeah. And I've grown biased to like a heavy spring, because I mean, we've opened these things thousands of times. So I just prefer them heavy, but I want to offer a balance to the market, something that's in the right sweet spot.
7 is perfect.
Yep. But I can't wait to get to the Blade Show, have these things on the table because I value every single person's opinion. Pick it up, put it in your hand, open it, close it. Is it too stiff? Is it too light? How does the walk and talk feel? I want value that feedback. So I'm just so stoked to get there.
I'm so envious of Blade Show. That really, I was going to go there 2 years ago, when we sold my parents' house and I had money. I haven't got any anymore. I've got GECs though.
Well, dude, we need to get a fund together for Patty so he can go 2022.
Heavens above, I'll move in. I'm a gypsy by heart.
Ah, well, come gypsy over here, man.
We got to get Steven at Blade Show 2022. We have a righteous cause.
Hey, who knows what the Viper key is? A really tight slip joint, loud half stop. I like the sound of it. I don't know which one the Viper key is.
Viper key. Is that the slim, pointy, bladed one? I think it is. I think it's,
Jan, let us know what that is, Jan.
It's got a very slim handle coming down to a point and a slim blade that comes down to a sharp point.
Oh, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
I think it is.
Hey, Stephen, I can see an orangish knife in the back row at the very end. What is that? Yeah, that.
Oh, yeah. I think this is my Orange Crush.
Oh, God, that's beautiful. I love those slanted bolsters.
This is from, I think it's an old knife, but when you see this blade, look at these blades on this. Oh, gosh. Look at that for a clip point.
Yeah.
That is stunning. This is from, I think it's about, I know it's an early one. It's the number 54. Oh, get the other glasses on. God, it's horrible being old.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yes, it's slim and pointy, says Oregon Knife Guy, and he's a slip joint fanatic as well. Never gonna sell a knife, he says. He's let his sons fight it out, or not fight it out. Come to an amicable agreement about who gets what. I like that philosophy, sir.
This is from 2009. This is from, so it's a real.
Oh, that's a moose, huh?
It's a moose.
Yeah, well,
it's a bull moose.
Yeah, bull moose. Yeah, 2 full clip points. It's just a beast of a working knife. But I actually brought myself down a sheath that goes in my belt so that I can actually carry that. But just a gorgeous, gorgeous knife.
Is it a little big for the pocket, Stephen?
Yeah, it's a bit sort of. It's more cumbersome. It would fall to the side. It would just, it would look as if I was pleased to see you.
Right.
Dave Warren is excited for Blade Show. Dave, definitely check out Ben's table over at Jack Wolf Knives. What table are you going to have?
16C. And I printed these shirts. This is like the official Blade Show 2021 shirt. I've got a logo on the back that says Blade Show 2021.
Sweet.
So if someone wants one of these shirts, come by the booth. You just got to wear it for a day at the show, and then I'll give it to you.
Oh, right on. Oh, I'll do that.
Bob, I got one for you already, bro. I counted you in, but I printed, I think, like 15 extra shirts, 5 larges, 5 extra larges, and 5 double X's. So anybody watching, if you're at the show while the supplies last, come on over, grab a shirt, get to know me, check out the knives. I can't wait, man. I can't wait to meet all you guys.
Your enthusiasm. I mean, if I wasn't already totally on board and completely enthusiastic about your knives and Jack Wolf knives and your designs, I would be by now, because your enthusiasm is definitely contagious. You can just tell when someone's doing what they're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like you're supposed to be doing this, and
it feels like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, Steven's been very encouraging. You guys have all really been so supportive and encouraging. It gives me more confidence to keep trudging ahead and taking the risk and putting myself out there. And it's humbling and it's fun, and it's just been great. And I feel like Blade Show is going to be a milestone for a lot of us. Yeah. It's your first one. It's my first one. A lot of us are going to meet each other for the first time. I feel like it's a milestone in what is going to be an awesome book for us for the rest of our lives.
Hell yeah.
Bob, it's much like your show when you do Meet the Makers. I think that is the best show on YouTube.
Oh,
And
thank you.
see, even if you don't particularly like their style of knives, meeting them and hear them talking and what they went through to get to where they are, that to me is I just love it. So when you know Ben and you want them to succeed, there's a, I don't know, it makes the knife special before you even see it or touch it.
Yes, I agree with you. Oh man, well, thank you for that compliment. But I agree. Hey Ron, how's it going? What is the date for Blade Show? That's the 4th through the 6th of June.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that this gas shortage on the East Coast doesn't affect my drive down there. I'm in Virginia. We have a large amount of our gas stations are dry. Apparently the Colonial Pipeline is back up and running, but I haven't seen evidence of that yet. So hopefully they're telling the truth about that. And I'm just like, when I heard that news, I was like, this better not affect Blade Show or work, but Blade Show.
Put that thumb out, Bob, and get there.
Yeah, I will. By hook or by crook.
A cyber attack or something, I heard.
Yes, it was. Yep. Some Russian hacker group, and they're like, gee whiz, we didn't mean to cause social strife. We just wanted money. It's like, well, okay. If you wanted money, why didn't you ransom something else instead of 45% of the gas on the East Coast?
Yeah, shutting down the gas on the East Coast is kind of a good way to draw some bad attention to yourself. I'm just trying to show you guys how, like, the centering on that, but I just not getting the focus I want.
Oh, you got it. There it is. That's perfect.
So Nick Martino before Ben said that he definitely wants one of those T-shirts. He cannot make it to Blade Show, but I guess if you have any left over, or whatever.
The goal is to not have any left over, but Nick, if I've got one left over, you can have it. So. But I intend to give them out.
Those things are going to be gone like that, no doubt.
And I'm going to ration them. I'm not going to burn them all off the first day because some people don't come till Saturday and Sunday. So
yeah.
And I got another trick up my sleeve. I'm going to have a really cool giveaway at my table for people.
Oh, cool. Right on.
Yep. I made 1,000 of those. So I've got 1,000 units of something cool to give away. And I'll do like 333 a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So beyond the super cool knives, beautiful designs being made by Riot, which, speaks for itself. You're going about this the right way, I think, by building excitement with merch and with your unique packaging and all that. I just think that's the way to do it, and I think you're doing it very completely. You know what I mean? It's not just this or this or this. Like you're in a position to know. I mean, you're already a businessman, so you know kind of what it takes to successfully run a business and what people want in as clients of that business. And I think that's a great thing to bring to bear. It's not just a love of knives and an eye for design. It's like a full picture. Yes, Jim. Jim just floated this up. I'm going to do a little reminder that next week for Gentlemen Junkies, this is the giveaway. Here, I'm not giving this away, so I'll put this over to the side. This is the giveaway knife. This coming next week on Thursday Night Knives. This is the 5.5-inch Kershaw Strata, based on it's like a modern Art Deco take of the traditional Navaja Spanish fighting folder, and it is a thing of beauty. And I've only carried it once, even though it carries like a dream. It's so thin and light and unobtrusive for a gigantic knife, I gotta say. So I didn't scratch this up. I didn't cut anything with it. Now, well, I'm not going to make that joke, but yeah. So definitely, if you're interested in this and you don't want to buy it and you want it given to you, well, become a Gentleman Junkie. Go to thenifejunkie.com/Patreon. All right, guys, are we ready for a knife fight? Let's do a knife fight. I have a good one, and I have you two here, and I would love to hear a knife fight between Steven and Ben. Jack Wolf Knives and Patty's Potato Peelers. So this we kind of touched on this, and Ben might have a slight edge because it's already been in his mind. But the knife fight is rehashing old designs with new materials or infinite new models. So it's kind of the Wii model versus the Spyderco model. I feel like Wii or Civivi, what have you, they come out with a million models and they're kind of hard to keep track of. And then Spyderco has a lot of old standbys. They come out with new stuff too, but they have a lot of old standbys that they keep releasing in this steel and that steel and this color handle and this. So rehashing old designs versus infinite new models. Who wants what, or shall I assign it?
Oh,
You pick,
I love rehashing old models.
Okay. Does that work for you, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, Patty, since you chose first, I'll let Ben decide who goes first.
Stephen can go first.
All right.
Thanks, mate.
Stephen, you have a minute and a half. That's 90 little seconds to prove your point on rehashing old designs, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, you're on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's wee Paddy here. Now, let me tell you this. This is pretty simple, because rehashing an old model, why would somebody want to do that? And the reason is the older models had character. They had an infinite beauty. And all you're doing when you're remodeling it, you're just giving it a material. And that's all it is. It's a cover material. The shape, the blade stays the same. You're just updating the material. And it's just like going from old bone jigs, which is very hard to get done now. And not a lot of people do them. So modern, there's a fella called Ben who's coming out with a knife. And he is making modern makes of older models. Old models of knife making. That's what I'm aiming for. That's that goal of making something old, just updated slightly, and giving you a professional finish on a maybe I've forgotten what I was going to blooming say there. Just difficult. Right, I'm done.
Wow, that was well done. And man, I got to say, your tactic was sneaky and brutal. I like it.
It was. I'm arguing like that was the one I needed, but that's okay. A good debater can debate anything, right?
That's right, especially things they don't agree with. All right, so Ben, let's have you start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Infinite new models, go.
All right, so we can all appreciate and respect the classics, and they will be with us forever. However, we won't end up with new modern classics that will become timeless classics unless someone blazes the trail ahead and continues to develop new model after new model, digging deep into their creative space to come up with something that really either turns the world upside down or at least sort of reinterprets the classics in a way that they are not exactly recognizable as such. So I think that while it's important to have our old designs and keep them alive, I think we're doing ourselves a disservice by not spending time to develop new models with maybe, new people in the game, younger people in the game, with a free and blank creative space to envision something new that maybe we have lost sight of.
Nicely done.
Getting good at this.
Nicely done, guys. Well, I think Patty, I think you went right for the throat in a very nice way, gentlemanly way, and I think that worked. And I got to say, Ben, you also kind of did a little verbal jujitsu on him, because you also used your example to further your cause. I mean, because you're right. So, people do have to blaze the trail, and that is what you're doing. So interesting knife fight. I wonder who won. before we sign off, I need some commenters. I can't, I'm an impartial.
Did we bore them all to sleep over there? You guys awake?
Oh man. Yeah. So I think that was a pretty good, it's funny because week after week I come up with knife fights and I'm like, man, oh, well, this is a good point. Incognito Griffin says Cold Steel is a great example of rehashing centuries old knives in new material like this and like the Kershaw,
Right. But you know what? Cold Steel also is creative, right? Like they come out with some wacky stuff sometimes. I feel like Cold Steel is probably one of the better, well-rounded knife companies, Like, sure, they got some Mall Ninja stuff, and I think they don't get the respect they deserve. But how can you, not give them the credit for what they've done in our community and the extent of their catalog going back and rehashing those old designs or producing stuff like no one else has the balls to make, frankly.
Agreed.
I love those guys.
I do too. Yeah.
Go ahead. Cold Steel are the sort of company I think that give you a kick to the throat with their slippers on. They just have this way of making something ridiculous look and feel like something you want to have.
Yes.
I can't explain Cold Steel. It's just.
Oregon Knife Guy says, I agree with both arguments. Let's call it a draw.
I'm fine with that. I think both are important. You know what I mean? Like we're screwed if we don't have both.
Oh,
we have to have both. And
choice is the winner.
Well, you gotta. It's like anything else, even outside of knives. Heaven forbid we consider that. But yeah, you gotta have an eye on the future, but you can't forget your past. Doom lies in both directions.
Yeah,
so
100%, man, 100%. Like, yeah, someone said you can't have one without the other.
Yeah,
I totally agree. Like, if you lose the classics, then everything going forward will never be as good as it could have been because we have to keep around the old methods, the old ways of doing, all that old school stuff's got to get handed down from one generation to the next. If you lose that, we're starting over.
I agree.
And it's funny because I'm sort of transitioning to traditionals at the minute, as Bob would say. I mean, I have sold off a stack of my knives, but I've still kept the classics, the 940s, the Paras, the knives that are actually, I don't know, they're just unbeatable in that sort of era.
They're like the Buck 110s of the future.
Yeah. I've ordered a Buck 110, my first Buck 110.
Awesome.
Coming this week. I got it's from the 1980s.
Oh, nice. You got an old one. It's
actually been sent back to Buck and been refurbished with a new blade.
That's
so
cool.
So I'm really looking forward to that coming.
So it's going to have this is a 112. My 110 is upstairs, but I love these knives and I never carry it. This is a desk knife and you can get these little things if you want to have one-handed opener. But I think your 80s Buck will be all squared off instead of being rounded off like this.
Yeah, and it's actually got finger grooves.
Oh, yeah.
I bought it on Etsy. It wasn't as if I had a choice. I probably would have chosen the basic handle material, but it's got grooves. So I'm just looking forward to it.
Sweet. So Nick Martino said a draw between you guys. I would agree. Sometimes there's an obvious winner, and other times it's like this where both arguments were convincing, and it's kind of it's a knife fight that's kind of built to be a tie in a way because like we've agreed, you got to have both.
Yeah,
you got to have both.
I wonder, hey, Bob, going back to what we were talking about, why do you think Spyderco's in a position where they're focusing on rehashing old models? Like, do you think that we're seeing sort of something that, COVID, where people couldn't collaborate and now they don't have something new to bring to the table? Are they slipping? Like, what's the reason?
Well, it's a reveal. So that this is the 8th reveal of the year, and presumably there'll be 2 or 3 more. And we've seen other reveals throughout the year, and I'm trying to think of the models, but with newer stuff. this is something I think they've always done. I think they're always they're very conscious of materials, you know, the latest steels and stuff like that. So they're constantly updating in that way. And in a sense, you know, you got to respect that it's updating, but they also keep, you know, their standard models are still an S30V, which obviously is a great steel, but we have all these other great steels that have somehow surpassed. So I think it's business smart to have a beloved model, let's say the paramilitary in an entrance level S30V model at 100 and whatever they are now, $150 or $140, and then to make available that model in progressively more advanced steels, knowing that there are collectors. It's like Case, it's like GEC. There are always going to be people who are like your number 15 obsession, if I can call it that. Like, you always come back to certain models, and if you can offer that in as many iterations as possible, you go for it. I just think they have the bandwidth to do that, as well as these awesome collaborations. So, you know, if I ever dish about Spyderco, it's a little disingenuous, because I think their model is pretty. I think the way they go about it is pretty cool. I just think that some of their knives look awkward, but you know, that's a matter of taste. I still have 13 of them. I still love them, or 12. So
I agree, Bob, but do you not also think that people are now talking about Spyderco more because they haven't brought new knives to the market? And it's like that, you know, there's no bad advertising. If you're getting talked about,
you're right.
It's clever marketing. They haven't had to do anything to be talked about.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting. Yes, well,
we're all talking about it. You know, there's.
Yeah. Oh, look, there it is again. This time in FRN. Oh, look, there it is again. This time in. What is the price range of Jack Wolf knives, Ron?
I'm aiming for 275 is what I'm aiming for. You know, dust has to settle on all my final pricing, but they'll be right around there somewhere.
So M390 blades, hollow ground, Riot made, titanium micarta. So, you know,
integral bolster and liners.
Oh yeah, right. Integral bolster. Yes, what he said, and you know, that's kind of in the that's the range of that kind of knife. You know,
yeah. I mean, with the Riot knife, surely that's Pena standard, isn't it? I mean, that's up with the top end knives that you can buy now.
Yeah,
indeed.
What was that last one, Jim? The Incognito Griffin? Vaquero is so beautiful, but I'm glad the upgrades they made with the newer model. Yep. I love this knife. I got 3 of them in different iterations. It's another ridiculous cold steel that's not so ridiculous. It's very practical.
Would you carry that, Bob?
I used to. Now, when I was indestructible and young and had, you know, didn't realize what I had to lose, you know, before I had kids, before I had a wife, I used to carry a 6-inch Vaquero with serrations in New York City, which would have landed me in Rikers Island if they had ever, you know, but, you know, I thought I had every right to, which, you know, not according to the law, but I still believe I have every right to. I just wouldn't, just because.
It's because you'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
I'd rather neither. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I love it.
You should have seen the ladies I got with carrying around the big knife. You know, they just loved it. They thought that was so cool. You're such a renegade. Just kidding, of course. I keep a Vaquero in my backpack where I can draw it if I need it. That's a good idea. Why not, man? It's in your backpack. It's probably fine. How do you like that? It's probably not against the law. Jan, like movie remakes these days, new ideas lacking? I don't think so. I don't think new ideas are lacking. Unless you're talking about Hollywood, where you can't do anything. You know, you can't make a comedy anymore. You just cannot make a comedy. Who's going to laugh at the kind of things that are acceptable to laugh at now? There's nothing you can laugh at, you know?
I truly believe that, Bob. I'm an ex-serviceman. I don't know whether it's the same over there, but over here, ex-servicemen, it didn't matter what color you were, where you were from, people took the mickey out of you, and it was funny.
Yeah.
But when you change it, it's like, I've got a little black grandchild. I've only got one, and the rest are all white. How do I tell my black grandchild Black Lives Matter? And my other grandchild's like, well, why does her life matter?
Yeah.
I think it's just a wrong mindset to put for children. I think it's children that get affected by all this adult talk.
Yeah, I agree. And you have kids in school getting in political arguments, but what they're doing is inaccurately rehashing conversations they've heard their parents say. That's why I forbid political talk with. I mean, sometimes my daughters will ask me, like, "What's this about?" And I'll give some sniping, cynical remark, and then I'll say, "But let's not talk about this." You know, there's nothing more less appealing than a child talking politics. Like,
I really enjoyed service life when there was. It just didn't. Now I'm out 30 years now, but back then it was just crack. It was fun. There was never anything malicious. Usually, I mean, you're obviously going to get somebody, but most of the time it was just crack.
Yeah. It's sensitive. Everything's so sensitive.
But you're frightened to nearly say anything now because you're gonna. Well, I think I'm at the age now where I don't care. I just say it. And who's going to hit me? I'm telling you, look at them. They're not going to hit this.
You're not going to hit Santa Claus.
Well,
I like that one.
in my experience, one-on-one with people, you can have conversations. You know, at least maybe with people that I work with. You know, I've had a lot of very frank conversations with people I work with, and of all stripes, and on that level. It seems to be fine to have to talk about these things, but as soon as it reaches like public lips, it's a hot button, and you know what? It sells newspapers, or
exactly,
theoretically,
and sells newspapers anymore.
Yeah, I know, and it makes like I don't want to get into this, but the Emmys, or not the Emmys, the Golden Globes are canceled, and it's just like, who cares? Only those assholes care. No one else cares. Hey guys, how's it go? Jared and Carrot, one or the other, or both? If you're offending people, then you're doing something right. It's called honesty. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I agree with you. We used to, I grew up. I was in high school, graduated high school in 1989, and then I went to college in the early 90s, and that's just when I remember hearing the words political correctness, because I was staring at girls with binoculars, and someone said, "That's not politically correct," and I said, "What does that even mean?" And they said, "Well, you could offend someone," and I was like, "All right, okay, I guess it's creepy that I'm doing this, so I'll stop." We're all out on the green. They're all out. Everyone's checking each other out. I'm just trying to get closer without getting closer. And that was my first exposure. But we can have
the worst thing you could ever have described. I can't get that thought out of my head. The net curtain's coming across it, Bob.
No. We were all sitting out on the green, drinking beer and doing what we used to be able to walk around drinking beer and smoking joints and having fun and listening to music, and no one, and if you stepped out of line, someone told you you're out of line. You're like, okay, sorry. It wasn't this big fucking deal where your whole life is ended.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, life has changed, and it's gone into every walk of life. It's like a bad seed. It's just going in everywhere. Like,
well, that's because we all have a phone in our pocket where we can get the messages. It's like, till then, you didn't know unless someone whispered it in your ear or called you on a payphone. You know what I mean? Like, now we have a phone in our pocket. Yes. I think that's what really got us is the internet.
I grew up with no phones. And when we got our first phone in the house, my mum and dad locked it, so I couldn't even use it. So, I mean...
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, do you remember the movie PCU?
Yeah, I do.
It's like
with Jeremy.
It's like reality now, like we're not gonna protest. We're not gonna protest. And like, you thought that movie was so ridiculous, but it's like, holy crap, that's like actually happening right now. Where you better be politically correct.
Yeah. I can't stand the mealy mouthedness. Ugh.
I'm gonna turn you boys round and look out my caravan window.
Show us. What time is it over there?
You got sunrise happening.
It is now 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, bless your soul for joining us, man.
Did you just pull an all-nighter, you wild animal?
I do every Thursday night.
Oh, you're the man.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
That is dedication.
I just love the banter and the chat on your show. So, I mean, it really is. I do enjoy it. It's not just a saying. I stay up every Thursday.
That's so cool. Oh, they need to play Blazing Saddles. Yeah, right. Blazing Saddles, like some of the greatest movies.
Never again.
The one thing about Blazing Saddles that is problematic. That's a great word. Problematic is the fact that now people who are not gun people think you can just shoot people's trigger fingers. Why don't they just shoot them in the leg or shoot the gun out of their hands? They don't.
The Waco kid did it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. All right, guys. I think I'm pulling into the station. I got to be up in 5 hours to do some. Hey,
Patty, Steven, 2022 Blade Show. We're gonna get you there. I'm gonna figure out a way to do it.
Oh, I wouldn't do that though. If I get there, it'll be under my own steamship.
Yeah.
No,
maybe
we all need a little help from our friends.
Maybe that train bridge will be built by then, and you'll be able to just hop on the train and across the, the solar train. That's okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you. And hey, good night, Caleb. Thanks for joining us, sir. It's been a pleasure. And Stephen, please join us whenever you tune in.
It's been a pleasure. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Ben, good luck, mate, and have a ball at Blade Show.
I sure will, man. Thank you so much.
And look after Bob.
Thank you, Chris. I'm responsible. Thank you.
I don't drink anymore, so I'll watch after Bob because I don't drink anymore. I'm like on my good behavior.
I don't either, man. Well, I'm on pause. I'm not going to say I'm not going to do the thing I really love to do for the rest of my life, but I'm on pause too. It's good to change things up a little bit. Hey, great to have you here tonight, Kevin. Much love to you, sir. And to all you out there, thanks for watching, and thanks for also giving your advice to Jim's son, Tyler. I can't wait to read his essays, and I hope that having the collective knowledge of all you knife folk is going to help him out. ENG EDC, you have a good one too. All right, fellas. Well, for Jim working his magic behind that switcher,
thanks, Jim.
We have
Jim's
Steven.
the best.
We have Ben. Jack Wolf Knives, Potatoes, Patty Peeler, Patty's Potato Peelers. Check them both out, and check us out too. We'll see you next time. Have a great night. Don't take
later, fellas.
See you, Ben.
See ya.